Well, good morning. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And today is the 5th of March, 2024 at approximately 0840 Central Time. And I am in Herculaneum, Missouri, on my way back up to Portage, Wisconsin, and stopping to do a shower and shave this morning. And I'll tell you why. It's this morning instead of, say, last night, scheduling preferences. I'll be in Portage this evening at about 6 o'clock. If I get departed on time, about 1100 this morning. It's a 7-hour drive up there. I intend to get up there about 1800 tonight. And anyway, on with the shave. Let me introduce the equipment. And the razor is another Philharmonica. It's a number 13, and it's a Novo Dur, and it's just a lovely razor. Jose Montserrat, who is inscribed on the tang, along with made in Spain. And that's about it. I have 4 total Philharmonicas, and 2 of them, my number 1 position, my number 3 position are Novo Dur. Number 2 position is Sub-Zero, and the number 4 position is Inox. So that's that. Had a nice hot shower this morning. Got approximately 3 days, right at 3 days, growth on my face. For the brush that I'm going to use this morning is the QED Select Manchurian Silver Tip Badger 24 millimeter. And it's just, I saw, who did I watch? The Stallion. I can't remember his full name, but the Stallion, you know what I'm talking about. He's got a big channel presence on YouTube and other places. So I've heard him say. I watch him. He was a big influence on me in the early days, but I just don't run out and join Instagram and Facebook, and about the only social media place I'm found is on YouTube. I just don't, no, too much trouble going on in those places. My soap this morning, the Zingari Man, the Watchman, this is a wonderful smell, in my opinion. I grew up in Oregon, so I spent a lot of time on the ocean, on the seashore, around Seaside, Cannon Beach, and those locations. My wife and I took a trip up there a couple years ago and did a driving tour from, I believe it's called Junction City, all the way to Astoria, and stopped in Seaside. I just had a wonderful time on that trip. But it smells, as the name suggests, like dirty ocean. But it certainly invokes memories. And this little bit of soap that's coming up here, I hesitate to call it lather. I'm not a big fan of these soaps that don't lather up. And of course I bought quite a number of them, not knowing how they were going to perform. That includes A&E, Bear Stearns Man, I'm going to go with a light coating. Now the one thing I like about this brush a lot is that bulb handle. It's still small, and I'm not crazy about a small handled brush, but at least that little bulb fits nicely. Now, if this were any other soap, I would add water to this, and I'm going to. But in adding water, I would expect a voluminous lathering to begin to occur. And it doesn't, it just thins out. And I think these guys that make these artisan soaps, and it is certainly slick, and it is certainly loaded with all the oil and goodies that you would expect it to have. I think they're made more for double-edged razors than they are straight razors. They do, straight razor needs to have a cushion of lather as a safety barrier. Yes, and to provide slickness as well. And I was reminded of this very thing when I was home over the weekend, when I used the Cella soap. You see in my last video, I used the Cella soap. And that's a soap that knows how to build lather voluminously. All right, we'll go with that. As I said, the shower was hot. The bowl, the sink water is not so very hot, rather tepid, which is the way it's been since I've been coming here. I haven't mentioned anything to them about it. I also got a new door lock, the one that, the portable door lock that I had, that I bought recently and tried on the last trip up here. It failed. Not because it doesn't work, but because the way the door's set up in the Lowe's truck stop. And so I got, instead of going in through the latch, the door latch where it connects, the tool that I bought, the one that I now have, goes in at the bottom of the door. It has a twist knob. I'll insert a picture somewhere about here. It has a twist knob that the plate that goes in underneath the door, as you turn the wing nut, it comes up, and then there's a rubber stopper that it sits on, and it creates a tension on the door. And I tried it, and they're not going to get in. Maybe the second or third try that they try to push through, they might get in. That gives you enough time to get your back up. Bang, bang. Get the hell out of here. All right, here we go. No verdure. Now I got a couple of things I want to talk about. But let's get started. As you can tell, or at least I hope you can tell, is that I take a fairly flat angle on my side of my cheeks like that, right there, as I get going and adjust my degree of angle. And I want to say this to the guys that are thinking about getting started with straight razor shaving. It's all about the fun, it's all about the pleasure, it's all about the experience, and for me also the nostalgia. But I see too many guys saying, "Oh, I just can't do that. I just can't do that." If you want to do it, pick up the razor and just start. As with any new thing, you're not going to be perfect. Are you going to nick and cut yourself? Sure. I haven't heard too many stories about fatalities, cutting your jugular. And I did hear a story about a guy one time who dropped his razor. He happened to be shaving in his underwear, and the razor, he tried to catch it and he pushed it into his leg and it cut his femoral artery and he was dead in minutes. Not a happy story by no means, and so things do happen. Don't try to catch a falling razor. Let it go. I know. You spent $500 on it, you spent $1,000 on it. Now here, where I'm shaving, I've got towels all over the floor. I go into the dirty hamper outside the door, I grab 2 or 3 extra towels and just throw them down on the floor. And so I got a little cushion. Now I want to remind everybody, and I'm not saying this by way of boasting, but to provide a context, that I've been shaving with a straight razor for just right at about 9 years now, and do all my own honing. I've done it since day one that I took up straight razor shaving. And as a truck driver on the road, the little techniques, the little processes and procedures that I put into place to facilitate my being able to do my straight razor shaving on the road are born of experience and necessity. And so that's the context. But over the last couple of months, I've been hearing what I'm just going to call witchcraft and voodoo theories on resting the steel. And the first time I heard it brought up was, and he posed it, the gentleman that posed it as a question, what do you think about this theory? And I said to him what I just said, it's witchcraft and voodoo. And the two contexts, and I think they're related similarly, is some people, when they get done with the shave, they'll rinse their razor off and dry it off and get their towel and wipe it off and set it up on a bathroom counter or somewhere safe and let it sit there and air dry. It's got to air dry 24 to 48 hours before you put it away. I call BS. And the gentleman that was asking the question, Mark at Friendship Shaving over in the UK, I watch him when he does a straight razor shave. I don't watch him so much when he does a double edge shave. Very nice gentleman, very soft spoken, polite, very polite. I don't have time when I'm done with a razor to let it air out. I strop it, I oil it, I put it away in my 7-day roll-up, leather roll-up that I carry with me. Now, having done that, strop it, oiled it, put it away for several weeks. I have enough razors that is approximately 3 to 4 months between razor usage in my rotation. Now, I would feel just as 100% confident after that rotation, it comes up, pulling it out, wiping the oil off, and commencing shaving with it. Does it need stropping? Probably not. Probably not. And Martin test shaves showed a couple of days ago. Using his Philharmonica 14 Tridor, which is a beautiful razor. Not so different than this 13, but Philharmonica, Jose Montserrat Poo. And he did not do a beginning stropping on the razor. He said he outlined at the beginning of the video what he was going to do, and I stopped the video at the 2 minute and 3 second mark and dropped a comment, and I said, I haven't even seen the shave yet, and I know what's going to happen, because I know how well Martin takes care of his razors and stropping and honing and all the activities he does. And so I commented right there at the 2-minute and 3-second mark that I said, Martin, I said, you're going to have a fine shave. You're going to have an excellent shave. The razor's in excellent condition. There's no need for you to worry about or be concerned by whether or not you're going to have a good shave by not stopping at the beginning as you prepare for the shave. You don't have to worry about that. That was my prediction at the 2-minute and 3-second mark of his video that I watched last night. It's a couple of days old. And so I resumed the video, watched the entire video at that point. And guess what? His shave was fine. He had a wonderful, Martin has a very expressive, oh, just wonderful. Like we all do when we are enjoying our shaves. Just like this one. Wonderful soap, scent, and I got it nice and thick there, so it's okay. But that's just my opinion. But pick up the razor and start, you guys. If you're even there's plenty of people. I'm not one of them. There are plenty of people that will send you a razor for nothing, maybe postage. And don't worry about all the do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs. It's like I tell people when I'm teaching them how to shoot a handgun. We go to the range. I'm fixing to take my granddaughter here soon. She's, I think it's today. It's her 19th birthday. And she called me a couple of weeks ago and said, she calls me Mr. Leon. I'm thinking about buying a gun. I said, okay. Do you know what one you want yet? She said, no. I said, well, just slow down and look at them and take your time. And I've taught those kids since they were small, 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, how to handle a handgun. When kids, you worry about kids. The problem with kids and having accidents is not that the gun is out. The problem with kids is that they're not trained. How do you see a gun that's out, you're gonna pick it up, which they shouldn't do. That's rule number 1. Don't pick up a gun. But if you pick up a gun, at least have enough knowledge about the gun to determine whether it's loaded, whether it's a revolver, whether it's an automatic, is there a magazine going in the handle, et cetera, et cetera. Never put your finger on the trigger. Gun goes off when the trigger is pulled every single time. Keep your finger off the trigger. It's just that simple. But yes, maybe the gun should be kept away. I'm not a believer in trigger locks or safes. When you need a gun, you want it in a position where it's ready to go. Ready to go. Loaded, bullet in the chamber, where all you got to do is flip the safety switch if there is one and pull the trigger, and your bad guy is down. It's like the old saying, you know, when seconds counts, police are minutes away. Anyway, I'm going to take her to the range. But what I teach them is, anybody I've ever taught, my daughter, my stepdaughter, my wife, have you ever shot before? Well, no. Okay, go to the range, you got your guns laid out on the table there, and I say, now, just pick up the gun, point it down range, and pull the trigger. Hold it like you're supposed to, like I taught you, you know, get in your, but don't try to aim it. Just point it down range and pull the trigger. Now, what am I doing? I'm trying to teach them about the sense of the recoil, the shock of pulling the trigger for the first time. Now they've pulled the trigger for the first time, they go, oh, wow. All right, now they know how to hold it maybe a little better, you know, because of having experienced that recoil. Now they can begin to focus on both recoil and aiming. Now, you don't do that on the first shot. So pick up the razor and use it. Coming along nicely. All right, so letting your razor air out 24 to 48 hours. After you finish shaving, not stropping. All of this stuff is so opinion based, whatever works best for you. Or sometimes, as I say, it's not just what works best, it's just what works. Sometimes you have to settle, especially if you have extraordinary circumstances for your shaving, going on vacation, you know, going to the in-laws, driving a truck on the road. And so I've got to have fast, quick processes and procedures that work without falling victim to all of the voodoo and witchcraft that other people say that I should do. Letting steel rest. Let me have a conversation with the Empire State Building. When was the last time you had a day off? Now, I do recommend stropping, good stropping, using a good quality strop. Probably the least expensive good quality strop that I have is an Illinois Stropping Company 361. I have 5 or 6 strops, and the best strop that I've got is a Kanayama 80,000, which I love them all. They all serve a purpose, and I got a Premier Strop Company Latigo that I just love. It was about, I don't know, $70, $80 when I bought it. I got soap on my camera. Stand by here a second. It's bothering me. There we go. I love that tri-door, Martin, that you have. I've seen you use it several times. And if things go my way over the next 6 weeks, I may have a surprise. Now, something I do is a little unusual, and again, goes against what everybody else says. You know, when I get done with a few strokes and I got all the lather built up on my razor, I just take it and wipe it right back up on the brush and reuse it throughout the shave. I'm sure that all the witch doctors and voodoo practitioners would tell me, oh no, you can't do that. It'll hurt your razor in the process. You know, I've done it for years and it serves me well. get in a couple of cheating strokes there against the grain before my third pass, and that makes it a little easier as I come along later. And another thing, that little weeper that I've got down there, just throw some soap on it, and it'll act like a coagulant. Not that it is, and not that you have to use a septic pencil unless it's a bigger bleeder than that, but there's all kinds of little tricks that are practical, that work, that break the conventional mold. And depending upon what your circumstances are, I'm trying to get done with my shift so I can get out of here and get out on the road. And so I'm looking for things that work quickly, effectively. I'll tell you a little secret. I know it's probably more common knowledge now, but baby oil. Baby oil is mineral oil with a little bit of pleasant perfume. Walmart, Johnson & Johnson. I've always used Walmart. Mineral oil coating on the razor at the end of every shave. I don't know if you can hear the music outside my door, but I'll probably get hit with a copyright violation again. Been a good trip so far, fair weather, moderate temperatures, no freezing temperatures. I haven't even had to use in-transit heat on my product. It has been maintaining required temperature. It's been it was 80 some degrees yesterday coming through Arkansas and Missouri. And looking at the weather forecast for Portage, Wisconsin and up that way, just fine. And you know, if you watch me the last few videos, that it's been freezing up here. Roads have been just fine, but spring is coming on and summer will be right behind it, especially in the south.
Your shower is ready. Please proceed to shower 6.
Oh, like a baby's butt. Now, I don't know when I'm going to get this posted. The logical time would be tonight when I get stopped, but it's a terrible signal up there where I will be. And it may not be for a couple of days until I have adequate signal and adequate time to, and that's the problem, is the uploading. I can have the editing done tonight easily. Last time I tried to upload a video starting in Portage, it took almost 24 hours for it to get completed. I don't know if you saw that move that I just did, but generally I use a very low angle, almost flat even. And when I came up under the chin, had a little angle on the edge, but when I came up right in here, I went totally flat. See if I can replicate it. Right there. I went flat. And so sometimes those little tricks are things that come along only after years of experience and learning your face. And I do wonder sometimes whether our forefathers that shaved with straight razors back in the 1800s, early 1900s, thought about those kinds of things like we do. I don't know if you noticed, but my first strokes here coming up under the chin were kind of going from left to right. And as I progressed on under the chin, they started moving more toward right to left, right under the chin. Right there in that corner, I got whiskers going every which way. Very good. I can live with that. And sometimes you get to chasing phantom whiskers that by the time the alum block aftershave and the skin begins to dry up and heal up, they recede anyway. So beginners, pick up the razor. Don't forget that our pioneers who shaved with straight razors conquered and settled this country with manly determination and would not have survived otherwise. So have some manly determination. And when you pick up a straight razor, know that you're walking in the footsteps of those same pioneers had no fear. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, let's rinse it off and do some finishing touches, and then we'll move on to the head shave. And if you're still watching me after 56 and a half minutes, thank you. And I'm sure you've seen other people do this too, but it is a useful thing to have in your repertoire, and that's palm stropping. Just lay it flat on this meaty part of the heel of your hand. You can go to the side like that, a little more on the side. All right, done with the face shave. you see any blood? Well, I was trying to be humorous. All right. Novo Doer, Philharmonica number 13. This is probably the, well, this one and the Inox coming next are the best conditioned. Not that the others are bad conditioned, but they're not mint. And not tomorrow, the next, well, I don't know if it'll be on video or not, but the Inox is in just virtually mint condition. All right, now for the head shave, you've seen this one in action lately, and that is the No Name Sheffield. And the reason I call it No Name Sheffield, ever so faintly, right here, what looks like maybe some surviving engraving, marking, you can barely, I mean, even with a magnifying glass, it's hard, but it spells out the letters ELD, and there may be an FI in front of it, but everything before that is gone. So field, right? Sheffield. And it certainly looks like, the steel looks like Sheffield steel. This water's gone cold. Lovely scent. I just love the scent of this, what was it? Watchman, the Watchman. And it's got a picture of a lighthouse on it, and it just brings to mind some old timer manning the lighthouse and smelling the waves crash against the shore and the rocks, and you get this ocean breeze, kind of what I call dirty ocean smell. And I have several oceanic scents that are quite pleasant, sweet. Zingari Man's Waves, Deep Blue Sea, I think it's called, from Sterling. Barrister and Mann has one, I can't think of the name of it right now, but they all got Angora soaps, Olympus. So when I leave here, I'm about 20 miles, I think, 15 miles from the split with Interstate 255 which takes you to the east of St. Louis and toward Illinois and following into Chicago. I'm not going to go that far. Because I'll come up on I think it's Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. Yeah, the town named Normal. About time for a haircut, which I will do probably after I come out of, no, because I won't be stopping at a Lowe's. When they get me unloaded tomorrow morning, where I'm going in Portage, well, maybe the night after that. It won't be tomorrow night, but night after that'll take me to, well, the next, I won't be staying at Love's if my routing holds true. But I gotta get a haircut in before I get home, and I expect to be home on Friday. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's do the back of the neck and get done and get out of here. I was standing at a half angle there. I don't know if you can see anything or not, and I won't know until I edit the video. Oh yeah, that feels real good. Okay. I'm gonna put on some alum block here in a second. Now when I leave here, I'll go back to the truck and do my final cleanup and stropping on the razors. That don't take very long. Okay. And I should be, I don't know what time it is right now, but I'm gonna guess it's around pushing 10:30. Okay, Allen Block, Ozma. Only the slightest of stings that I've got. I guess I have fairly sensitive skin. I don't know. I've never paid attention. Do I feel it? Sure. That's kind of like telling a carpenter, have you ever hit your thumb with a hammer? Well, yeah, once in a while. Whew. Okay. That's it. Thank you for staying with me. I'll have this up in the next day or two, and I will see you down the road.